Good friend of mine, David Lockhart, is one of the well-renowned car rally goers, and luckily he's always got a passenger seat open for me most of the time, so I get the invite to go on a lot of cool car rallies. One of the rallies was the Savage Rally 6. We were going Austin to Orlando.
I've done a lot of rallies, almost every one in the country. I love the Savage rallies. We always had a great time on those. A lot of really cool people, a lot of great, fantastic cars. God rest Randy's soul, but Randy, who came up with Savage Garage and the whole YouTube channel, on one of his rallies brought his Lamborghini Murcielago SV, $1 million car. I think it's one of one. To see that car and hear that car on the road, I think it was straight pipe too. Just sounds amazing. I brought a Tesla Model S Plaid. I grew up stock car racing in Florida, so I have a love for everything Dale Earnhardt Sr. So it's a black car, so I put all the legit stickers and sponsors that he had back in the day. People really take notice. They don't know what to think about it. Are you trying to save the planet, or are you a NASCAR fan? It's like, there's not a lot of in between these days, which is kind of funny to me. I bought the car because I loved it. I thought it was fast, it was interesting, easy to drive, so that's why I got the car. It's the last day of the rally. If you've ever been on a car rally, you don't get a lot of sleep because you're driving all day, you're kind of hyped up at night. A lot of the guys go out and drink to stay up all night. I don't drink, so I just kind of like check the cars out and talk car stories the whole time. So we're meet there in the morning. There's always a meeting, talk about the day, the route, and what have you. I think Randy walked up to me and says, so how you gonna do today? Because it was Point Clear, Alabama to Orlando, Florida. It's about 500 miles. He says, how are you gonna do today, with charging and all that? He says, no matter what, I'm gonna beat you there. I said, you wanna bet on it? It's the last day, I'm a little tired. Hate to use the word spice it up, but hey, let's make this more exciting, right? We shook on it and we bet $1,000. It happened to be Autism Awareness Day. So we're like, okay, whoever loses will donate $1,000 to autism awareness.
As a co-pilot for the rally for this bet we had going on was the strategic play that we had to make in order to make it to Orlando first. As soon as the bet started, I went right into GPS maps, Tesla charging stations, trying to figure out where we can go to charge to make sure that we can be able to make it to Orlando on 2 stops. Because I knew if we were going to stop 3 times, we weren't going to beat the Murcielago.
The Tesla Plaid has 3 modes. It has chill, sport, and plaid. So you're going to use more energy with plaid. So we decided on sport. Then we're thinking, well, how fast should we go to maintain whatever? So we decided we're 125 to 130 the whole way. The factory on that car, it says 396 miles on a full charge with 19-inch wheels, which we have 19-inch wheels. One thing that was really amazing we found out about that car is if you're doing all in all day long, your range is 200 miles in that car.
The Murcielago has I think a 26-gallon fuel tank, but they're burning through fuel left and right. So especially if he's going to be on it. One of the big things that we ended up running into leaving Point Clear, Alabama, was we got out ahead. We ran to the car, hit the road, so we got out in front of the group. The police through the panhandle of Florida caught on to the group coming through. We ended up causing a little bit of a stir. They ended up trailing the entire group for probably about 200 miles, basically the entire panhandle. So that gave us a big advantage because we were out ahead of that. We ended up being able to put about an hour-and-a-half gap on the rest of the group, which gave us an advantage to where Randy was and to where we were.
And then it started to rain. Traffic backed up. There must have been a wreck up there or something. So we were literally crawling on the interstate. Me and Frankie started talking, and he says, do you think that Murcielago SV is going to go on the emergency lane? We looked at each other, no way. So we got on the emergency lane. We did it for like 3 miles in the rain. We're not going fast. We're only doing 20, 30 miles an hour. That ended up being the way we won this thing because there's no way he's going to go down there, which he didn't. When we first got onto the emergency lane, Sean's behind us and he happened to be filming at the time. We just went a few feet and this trucker in the semi-truck tried to crash us into the median there. It didn't feel that bad when you're in the car. You just evaded him, no big deal. But to this day, I can't believe he did that. And I get it, if maybe he had a long day, bad day, and I respect truckers, and believe me, I do everything I can to maneuver around them. But yeah, he wasn't liking that.
We pulled into our first charging point in Marianna, Florida, grabbed some lunch. We got back on the road, and that was really kind of the crunch time because we got our first charge in. We had a full range. Figuring out where we needed to stop for our second charge was going to be pivotal for the finale of this leg of the rally into Orlando. Given the amount of range and fuel, and talking with Randy through a couple FaceTimes, we were able to figure out that they were going to need to get fuel one more time. We needed to get charged as well. So we were still out ahead about a half hour or so. We pulled into Lake City, and it was just a calculated mission for us to get plugged in, go run, use the restroom, get back to the car. And at that point, I was on WhatsApp watching the live tracker to see where the Murcielago was. I think Randy FaceTimed us while we were sitting there as well. I'm watching on the tracker the Murcielago come off of I-10, turn onto I-75 right through Lake City. I knew they needed to stop one more time. Gas stops for them are usually about 10, 15 minutes with the whole crew and everything. It takes a little bit of time. So I knew that was our delta, was we can sit there for another maybe 10 to 15 minutes while they go by before we have to hit the highway and, kind of make it neck and neck. So I knew based off of what our range was, we had 160 miles left to go to hit the hotel. The range was clicking away as it was charging at about 225, 226, and I wanted to have a 100-mile delta on the range just to be safe because it uses up a lot more charge than it tells you. So my goal was 260, but we were getting close on the time. We were getting close to that 10-minute mark where I knew we needed to go. David's like, man, we got to go. Like, can we go? I was like, no, we can't go yet. We got to wait. So he's like anxious in the driver's seat, get ready to hop out and unplug. I'm like, no, we got to wait.
Charging life is really interesting part of having an electric car is, you're plugged in. What are you going to do? Sometimes, maybe get some steps in for exercise or go eat, what have you. So we charge, we eat, we get back on the road, and we're pretty close to that Lamborghini. We're going back and forth.
I got to the point where I started seeing 244, 245, I think maybe 246 or 247. I was like, all right, let's go. So I cut it about 15 miles short of what I wanted, but I think we still had enough. I took a little bit of a risk to say, hey, let's go ahead and go. He jumps out, unplugs, we hit the highway, we get down to Gainesville, which is where they ended up pulling off to get fuel. We're keeping an eye on our range for charge because we didn't get the full charge that we wanted. So we're coming into Orlando, and it's starting to get close. Because if we have to pull over again, like the goal is to get to the hotel first, and if we have to stop again, he's going to probably beat us because the charger's not next to the hotel. We're going to have to detour, and it'll be a big thing. We get to the point where we're like actually in Orlando and like making a decision. Do we need to go charge or are we going to the hotel? At this point, we've been chilling out, but still, like what we have is what we have. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to go till it's empty. If we roll in and it dies, it dies. We stuck to that, got to the hotel. We pulled in and we had about 10 miles left of range. And it felt good that we were able to make it and not have to push it down the side of the highway.
We beat him back to the hotel. We're not bragging. We're just like, it was pretty exciting. We beat him, right? And all his friends are saying, oh no, you cheated. We saw the video. You went into the emergency lane, and me and Frankie look at each other like, there's no rules to this. It's just first one there. Good news of this story is that we both end up giving $1,000 to autism awareness. It was just one of those times where we had so much fun in that Plaid versus this Murcielago. The dichotomy versus a gas guzzler versus a fast electric car. One thing we learned too by being on a rally with electric cars, you can hear these other cars loud and clear. So to hear that Murcielago going down the road I'll just never forget it.
Honestly, that whole experience having to race a Murcielago SV, I mean, not too many people get to experience those types of cars. It wasn't just that day, but the days leading up to it to experience all the cars that we do on these rallies, especially the Murci SV, is pretty awesome. But when we get back to the hotel, the other cars pull in, and the rest pursues to, I guess, us cheating. But it is what it is.
This month we've got our 2 best deals ever back from Glossit. We've got their DIY ceramic coating kit, which is a $210 value including their graphene ceramic coating plus a bottle of their ceramic detail spray, which makes the application so easy an idiot like me can do it in my own garage. That's a $210 value for just $69.99. Or if free is the better price, you can get a bottle of their award-winning detail spray for free. Just pay the shipping and handling. We've had to limit that, so I don't know how many are left, but check the links in the description below and find out which you can get. Either way, you're going to get some great Glossit goodness.